Jocelyn Papprill. Good morning.
Kia ora koutou, good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to submit in person. In the brief amount of time that I have, I'd like to concentrate on perhaps 4 aspects of my written submission. They are stormwater, transport, education, events, and for each of these I'll have a personal as well as community interest in them. As someone who spends a vast amount of my working time educating children and young people about our stormwater network and how to protect our waterways, I think the Council must prioritise an improved wastewater and stormwater network over smooth roads. Or more importantly, invest in improving the stormwater infrastructure at the same time road improvements are being made. Plan improvements for more than one value. We must make a concerted effort to clean up our urban rivers and reduce the likelihood of wastewater overflow during times of peak rainfall. At a time when we urban dwellers complain about contaminated and unswimmable rivers in our rural hinterland, pointing the finger of blame at intensified farming, we must be doing more to clean up our own act within our urban environment. There is potential to improve the design so that contaminants are captured and filtered before water flows into our river network. I encourage the Council to look for opportunities to provide mitigation measures during streetscape improvement. This week I was showing a group of young people around the low-impact urban design principles being put in place in new developments in Horswell. Swales, retention ponds, permeable surfaces, etc. With increasing intensification of development in existing urban areas, I would like to see the Council working with householders and developers to ensure an increased use of permeable surfaces, use of rainwater capture tanks and treatment of stormwater via rain gardens. I applaud the use of such features where new public spaces are being built, but more needs to be done where private citizens are rebuilding. Alongside such infrastructure enhancements, there must be an increase in current community education about stormwater issues and what people can do to protect our waterways. In terms of transport, I'm extremely supportive of the major cycleway program, as they will encourage more people to cycle and so reduce the impact on our roading network, reduce congestion and be better for community health long term. After spending 7 months last year cycle touring in Europe, Britain and Canada, I'm much more appreciative of the importance of safe separated cycleway network. It was a sheer pleasure cycling through Germany and France and through their cities. It was a different story when I got to much of Britain, but I was surprised by how easy it was to get around in London. Seeing the number of people cycling in London, because they've put these good cycleways in, was pretty amazing. I also would love to see more transparency and visible integrated public transport system through the Greater Christchurch thing, and the Public Transport Working Group. Be much more useful. I'd also like to see a park and ride to increase public transport patronage, particularly bus lanes ensure a speedy ride for passengers. I saw this in Britain and Canada as well, public use of park and ride processes. Over the years I've lived in Christchurch, I've really appreciated the many free events that the city has put on. Many of these are valuable and giving the city a positive vibe. I'd like to see, though, that we really support more local, smaller events. I don't want to see more bigger events in Christchurch. I really appreciate, as a member of the Mount Pleasant community, the support we get for running events like Estuary Fest, and also the support that the Council gives for Sea Week program in Akaroa. Education. I know this is not specific to the plan, but I really want to say the Council needs to continue to provide education for sustainability through your Learning Through Action team and enhance the efficacy of that team's work by restoring the financial support for and MOU with Enviro schools. During the past week, I've been facilitating an Untouched World Charitable Trust program involving 20 young people who at the end of the week advocated for more environmental education in schools. Those that had been in Enviro schools during their primary school wanted to see it extended to secondary, but the funding for specialist facilitators was not available. Enviro schools is a tried and trusted program that complements the Council's current LEOTC programs and supports a number of community outcomes, particularly in sustainable use of resources and active participation in civic life via deep place-responsive learning experiences. With more funding from the city, Enviro schools may well be better able to support secondary schools wishing to integrate education for sustainability within their programs. Auckland Council has done this partly through the Young Leaders in Sustainability program. Penultimately, street and footpath renewal has somewhat exercised me. Refurbishment of footpaths should only occur when there are obvious hazards. I cannot understand the need for current footpath renewal on Major Hornbrook Road in Mount Pleasant when it's actually Mount Pleasant Road that is much more damaged. It makes me wonder whether a proper assessment of the repair has been done, or whether the current repair is business as usual, unnecessary and disruptive. My final point, I would like to see that Council take much more of their parks maintenance work back in-house to improve the quality of work, the conditions of the workers, and perhaps foster an integrated approach to environmental restoration and maintenance. Certainly some of the estuary restoration work we have done as a community in partnership with council rangers has been undone by contract maintenance workers mowing over the planting, a waste of ratepayers' money and a frustration for those of us seeking biodiversity enhancement.
Look, I know you've come to time, but can you just tell me the names of the two roads again? The one that's been done and the
Major
one
Hornbrook Road.
The one that's been done?
That's being done at the moment.
Yep.
And Mount Pleasant Road.
Yep. We are looking for examples of this because that is what we are very concerned about. So we don't want a BAU approach. We want a needs-based approach. So thank you very much.
Kia ora koutou.
Kia ora.